Hey guys, it's Sarah. If you're new here, welcome to the channel where I tell the stories that still make my heart race every time I think about them. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment so I know you're here. Because these moments only feel real when I know you felt them with me. This is the night I turned 18 and didn't get out when he parked. So get comfy, seriously. Grab the coziest blanket you own, turn the lights down low. Maybe make yourself some tea or hot chocolate, because this one is long, soft, and full of every single detail that still makes me close my eyes and feel like I'm right back there. The party had been over for a while. Everyone else had gone home. Mark had walked me to his truck like he always does when things run late, the same way he's done since I was little, and he started giving me rides to events. The drive home was only 3 blocks. But it felt like the longest 3 blocks of my life. We talked the whole way. Easy stuff at first. How the cake turned out red velvet with cream cheese frosting. My mom's recipe, a little lopsided but perfect. How my little brother's off-key singing made everyone laugh until we cried. How the necklace he gave me, the tiny silver star pendant, caught the light every time I moved my head. But underneath the words, the air felt different. Thicker, heavier, like we were both dancing around something bigger. The windows were cracked, just enough for the cool night air to slip in, carrying the faint scent of wood smoke from someone's fireplace a few streets over. The heater was still blowing warm, wrapping around my legs, making the cab feel like a little cocoon against the December chill. Every time he shifted gears, the leather seat creaked softly, and the faint pine smell from the little tree air freshener hanging from the rearview mirror mixed with his cologne, something clean and woody that I've always secretly loved. He pulled into my driveway, put the truck in park, and turned off the engine. The sudden quiet was loud. The porch light from my house was spilling through the windshield, painting everything in soft gold. The dashboard lights faded slowly, leaving just the glow from outside and the faint reflection of the street lamp on the hood. The engine ticked as it cooled, each tiny metallic sound echoing in the silence. The cold from the cracked windows started creeping in, making my nose chilly. But the heater's leftover warmth still clung to my legs. I said thanks for the ride and reached for the door handle, but I didn't open it. I just sat there, hands in my lap, fingers twisting the sleeves of his old navy hoodie, staring at the dashboard, where the little clock glowed 11:58 p.m., listening to the engine tick. The soft rustle of leaves outside when a breeze moved through the trees. My own breathing that suddenly sounded too loud. Seconds turned into a minute. A minute turned into 2. I kept thinking about every time I'd been in this exact passenger seat, the night I was 12, and cried over a ruined science project. The leather still warm from the sun that day. The night I was 14 and ran here after my parents fought, the heater blowing full blast to warm my frozen fingers. The night I was 15 and learned how to parallel park right here in his driveway while he cheered from the curb, the smell of fresh cut grass coming through the open windows. The night I was 16 and fell asleep on the way home from a movie and woke up with his jacket over me, the soft weight of it and the faint scent of his cologne. The night I was 17 and he picked me up from prom early because my date bailed and we drove around for hours. The windows fogged from our breathing, the radio playing low. Every memory felt like it was pushing me to say something now. He didn't rush me. He didn't ask if I was okay or tell me to go inside. He just waited, one arm resting on the steering wheel, the other on the console between us, close enough that I could feel the warmth from his hand and smell the faint trace of the birthday cake frosting he'd gotten on his sleeve earlier. The quiet stretched, thick and full of everything unsaid. And then, soft and low, he said, "Sarah, why didn't you get out when I parked?" I looked over at him, and the porch light was catching in his eyes, making them shine. "I just turned 18, I said, the words coming out quieter than I meant. "And I didn't want to get out yet." The ride felt too short. The night felt unfinished. And once I open this door, the day is really over. And I'm not ready for it to be over. He turned toward me a little more, the leather seat creaking softly under him. You could have asked me to drive around the block, he said. But there was a small smile in his voice, like he already knew that wasn't what I needed. I know, I whispered. But I was afraid if I asked, you'd say yes out of politeness. And if I got out, I'd lose my nerve and never say what I came here to say. The truck was so quiet I could hear both of us breathing, the faint tick of the cooling engine, the soft rustle of leaves outside. He leaned back against the headrest, looking at me like he already knew what was coming. Then don't lose your nerve, he said softly. Tell me what you stayed for. I took the deepest breath I'd taken all night. I love you. I said. The words came out clear and steady and true, like they'd been waiting their whole lives to be spoken in this exact truck, in this exact seat, under this exact light. I've loved you every single day I wasn't allowed to say it. Through every ride home, and every almost touch, and every time I pretended falling asleep on your couch was enough. And I'm 18 now, Mark. And I couldn't get out of this car tonight without telling you. The silence that followed was the fullest silence I've ever known. Mark looked at me for the longest moment, eyes shining in the porch light, and then he smiled small. Soft, like sunrise after the longest night. I've loved you longer than I've known how to say, he whispered. I was just waiting for the night you decided not to get out of my car. He reached across the console for my hand, gave it to him without hesitation. We didn't kiss right there in the driveway, my parents. Porch light was on, after all. But when he walked me to the door and said goodnight one last time, he brushed his thumb across my cheek and promised we'll talk more tomorrow. And just like that, I wasn't the girl rushing to get out of his car anymore, so yeah. That's the night I turned 18 and didn't get out when he parked. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is not open the door right away, and trust that the person next to you has been hoping you'd stay all along. If this made your heart do the little fluttery thing, give it a big thumbs up. Drop a comment with the moment that got you the most. And if you're new here, subscribe because there are so many more stories coming. Thank you for being here with me while I tell this one. It still feels like the best kind of magic every single time I think about it. See you in the next one.